This is Judy. Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
This is Judy Holzer, and I'm interviewing for the Hastings Historical Society, interviewing Paul Hanak at his home at 94 James Street.
Yeah.
Would you tell me where you were born and when you came to Hastings?
Well, I was born in East Glastonbury, Connecticut. And we came to Hastings in 1926 in March. Before that, we lived in New Jersey.
Okay. So were your parents immigrants?
Yeah, they were immigrants out there. Yeah, we're Hungarians, yeah.
From Hungary.
They came out to East Glastonbury. And then from there, they lived in Jersey for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
You've heard of Franklin, New Jersey?
I've heard of it.
It's here in Sussex County over here.
So that's where you were. Now you came when you were 13?
I was 13 when I came to Hastings, you know.
What did you think of Hastings when you came here?
Well, it was a nice little town originally. Yeah, my oldest sister lived here, you know.
So that's why your family
that's
came?
why we came here, yes. And her husband worked in the pavement company. Where they made the blocks, you know, for the roads, you know.
Right.
Oh, yeah. That's where all the kids used to swim, the older boys, you know. The older boys,
the
docks. You know. Off the docks, they used to. And they used to go out to they used to have these barges pull the trap rock down from Stony Point. They used to swim out there, you know, and hitch a ride onto them, you know.
Onto the barge?
Yeah, on the barges, yeah. Oh, yeah, you easily swim out, you know. I mean, but they were the older boys, 14, 15, 16. I was only 13, you see. And I used to go up at the point to swim my age, you know, the Toweridge boathouses. That's called the points, you know, over there, you see. Yeah.
Now, you were 13, you came to school here?
No, well, afterwards I came, when we first moved here. But I came to spend the summer with my oldest sister.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and they lived over there with the police department. Now, they used to have an old Victorian apartment house there. It held about 8 families, you know.
That was, what was the address of that?
On Maple Avenue, where the police station is now. That was all woods over there, you know.
Well, now tell me what you did that summer. Well, how did you pass the time?
Well, I passed the time swimming, I mean, and I don't know if you know the Nemcheks. They live up on top of Villard Avenue by the aqueduct in a big apartment house there. Well, their parents were the superintendents in that building then, you know. And they had a son who was about my age, you know. And
so you spent time with him?
Did you interview the 2 Anku boys?
Now, I don't know. I'm not sure whether they did or not.
Because that's when I met the 2 Anku boys, you know. John is still around. He's my age.
Okay.
I met the 2 Anku boys, him and his brother Charlie, as Charlie passed away. Him and Frank Nemchek and him, you know. But we were only 13, you see. And all the other boys, they were much older. They used to go up the golf course, caddying already, you know, see. And I used to get down there swimming like I told you, know. And
did you do any fishing?
No, I'm not too much of a fisherman, you see. But I told you the size of the eels in them days, you know.
You said. How big were they?
Oh, they had eels, I'm telling you. They were as big as black snakes.
How big is that?
Well, they're that thick. They're about 6, 8 feet long.
And how thick are they?
That's how big. They're about that thick they were. Yeah, that's how big the eels were in them days, you know.
Wow. How'd you catch them?
No, they were dead, you know.
Oh, I see.
And when the day liners were up here in the daytime, well, they used to wash them on the rocks, you know.
Wow.
I remember the dig with Clinton. That was the biggest one, you know, that came by. And they used to push the rollers up to the railroad tracks, you know. It was so big the waves.
I see.
Dig with Clinton. That was now a long time ago, you know. And I knew them all. Did
you wave to the people?
Yeah, you can see the Robert Fulton, the Alexander Hamilton, the Peter Stuyvesant.
Oh, wow.
Then you had the Trojan night boats. You've got the night boats, you know.
Now, what are they, the Trojan night boats?
Night boats, they were, you know. They go from New York to Albany, you know, and people used to sleep on them.
Oh, I see.
For the night, you know, instead of driving, you know. It was nice. It was nice.
Oh, it must have been beautiful.
Yeah, nice. Then when we moved to Hastings, I mean, then I used to swim down the home here. That's down here by the Yonkers line there. We used to get down the bank there. We used to have a bridge over the railroad tracks. Everybody from Hastings swam there, you know.
Oh, that was the one off Washington Street, that bridge?
Way up this way here. No, way up this way past Zinzer's.
Oh.
Yeah, it's between the Palisade Boat Club and Zinzer's. They knocked the bridge down all to get on the railroad, you know. And everybody from Hastings swam down there, then, you know. Everybody swam there from Hastings. We had no pool, you know, and nobody died from the water swimming, I mean, it's the... Yes, yeah, Hastings was a nice place, you know, Hastings, you know, yeah.
Now, after the end of the summer, your parents moved here, is that?
Yeah, the following summer, following March we moved there. Yeah, we moved here.
And then you started school.
Yeah, my mother's house is just up the third house. That's my mother's. So we had the house already bought, you know. See the house up there?
So you've been in this neighborhood?
Oh, I've been on the street for 63 years.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, 63. Oh, yeah, I know this place was just woods over here, you know. Oh, yeah. In fact, my house was in here, you know. You only had 3 houses on this side of the street, and 4 on the other
So you
side.
had lots of room to roam.
Oh, we had a lot there. Oh, yes. My mother's house is here, and the one in the end was house here, and this house is the oldest house. This is the oldest house in the street right here.
Ah.
That's 7 owners already.
Oh, my goodness.
Some young fellow in Hastings just bought it, you know. Yeah, it's a very old house, you know. It was a nice house when we first moved here because the guy was a landscape gardener, and he had a nice place here, a nice picket fence around it, you know. He had a nice orchard here, you know. The rest are all new down here, you know, see.
But your place is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a garden.
You know, my house was built in 1936, and I bought this in 1950. I'm just a second owner.
So you're the
you know.
second owner?
Oh, yeah. I'm just a second owner, yeah.
All right.
And my father used to work for the what do you call it? Duchess of Talleyrand. Linda's Estates.
Yes. Anna Gould.
Yeah, my father was a gardener there.
Oh, my goodness. That's how you learned to do all this. Oh,
Yeah, my father used to work
So
there.
that's why you came to this area.
Yeah, because my sister lived there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we lived there.
And when your father came, he
my
came
father worked
as,
in Anaconda too. Yeah.
So he came originally to work at Anaconda.
Yeah, he worked in Anaconda, yeah.
Where did he work in Anaconda? What area?
He worked in the wire mill. And I worked there too, and I worked there, of course, in the lead room.
In the lead room?
Yeah, I worked
Now,
there
what
for
was
3
that? What did you do in the lead room?
Well, that's where they put the lead on these big outdoor underground cables.
They
You
would
see them on the
encase them
trucks?
in
See on the trucks going by with the big lead cable, you know? I worked in the lead press.
So
over
that
there.
must have been hot. You must have been dealing
No, it
with,
wasn't too bad, no. No, I worked in the front of the lead press and back of the lead press. I worked there from 1936 to 1939.
Now, did you have a sense that there was any danger in what you were doing?
No, not at the time, you know. I mean, in those days, the people weren't concerned with pollution. They were just glad that they were working. I mean, don't forget that was during Depression days, you know, you see.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you know, hell. You'd be surprised, you know. I mean, I worked 4 years up here in Irving, you know. From 29 to 33, I worked there, you see.
Northern
Oh, yes, I was paid up there, yeah. Yeah. And then you probably heard of C.C. Campson.
No, I haven't.
Oh, I
Tell me.
joined in for 2 weeks. I was out in Idaho with them there for a year.
Now, what was that? That was in, where was that?
I was in Boise, Idaho
Oh, my goodness.
in 1933, you know, when I left Lord and Burnham, you know, I say, yeah.
So you took a 2-year stint
Oh,
out
I
in
took
Idaho
2
and then
years
came
up,
back
I was out in
again.
Idaho.
Did you miss it?
And then from there, we went to Knoxville, Tennessee. We worked on the TVA dams there. Remember the TVA dam?
Oh, yeah,
Before
Tennessee
they put
Valley
the-
Authority.
Well, we worked on them, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
See, because Tennessee has a lot of rain, you know, you see.
Yeah.
And they got gullies in them fields there that you could just lose a car in, you know. And what we were doing, we were damming them up with logs, you know, like making steps with logs. And then they flooded the whole area, you know. That's what we're doing there.
a lot of work.
Yeah. And then when I came home, then I went to work in the Anaconda.
Did you miss it when you were away? Or
No,
was
I
that
mean, I liked Idaho.
you had a good time?
I wouldn't mind retiring there, you know. But my wife didn't want to go, you know. Because Idaho was something like Northern California. The climate is nice and dry.
More mild.
And the sun shines every day. I mean, I was out there from May till October, and we didn't have a rainy day.
Oh, my goodness.
They had irrigation there. It was beautiful climate, you know. And at nighttime, you need 4 blankets.
Oh, so that's very good.
Yeah,
That's
it's just
nice.
like
That's
yeah.
nice living.
It's a nice place, it's here.
Now, when you came back, how old were you when you came back? You were,
I was 21 years old when I was in Idaho.
and you were
I
there
was
2
in 33.
years, and then you went to,
Yeah.
then you went to Tennessee, and then you
And then
came
from
back.
there, I came back and
So you were in your late 20s, I guess? when
Yes.
you- Did
Then
you
I
have a
got-
family at that point?
No, I got married late. I got married after the war, you know.
So you came back to Anaconda in the late, when you were in your late 20s, which was about when?
Well, I was 21 years old in 1933. I was
Uh-huh.
24 years old.
So it was about 1940, did you say you started working in Anaconda?
1936.
1936.
In 1940, I started working for Fisher Hardy.
Oh, okay.
That's where I retired from in 74, you know, I see, yeah.
Okay.
I worked up there in Fisher Body, you see.
Now, I spoke with a woman who'd worked in the wire mill. She said that you had protective shoes, some sort of shoes.
Yeah, we had to wear safety shoes, you know, yeah, with the steel toes, you know. We had them buy them right there in the Anaconda at the storeroom, you know. Because I used to handle lead bars that weighed off 45 pounds apiece, you know. We used to throw them into the lead pot, you know.
And that would melt them and then...
That would melt them, you see. Yeah, I had to have them, you see. But there was pollution, you know, with the lead. I mean, well, I didn't work that out long, though, you see.
Well, I don't think...
And I didn't care for it. I left it for the simple reason it was 3 shifts, you know. We had a different shift every week, you know.
Was that... How did you feel about that?
I didn't care for that midnight shift, you know.
Yeah.
Because I like my sleep, you know. 5 o'clock in the morning, you just... It was only 7.5 hours.
There were three 8-hour shifts or
three 7.5-hour shifts.
7.5-hour shifts.
Yeah, half hour for lunch, you know. Yeah. I don't know if you know Emery Gavis from Hastings. You had questioned him. He worked down there with me. Emery Gavis.
I don't know the list.
Well, he's not my age yet. I'm about a good 8 years older than him, you know. He was just a kid when I was swimming down the river, you know. See, yeah. Well, he lives in Hastings. He used to work down there with me, you know. Rabbit Shelley from Hastings, he's still around, you know. But the other ones are all gone, you know.
What language did you speak at home?
Hungarian.
Did you speak Hungarian? Now, did you speak English well when you went to school?
Oh yes, yeah.
Did you ever have any sense that made you different?
No.
Coming from a...
No, we spoke Hungarian all the time because my mother spoke Hungarian. Yeah.
Was she a good cook?
Yeah, oh yeah, my wife was a good cook. Yeah, oh yeah. My wife is a good cook too, but she never comes near my mother, you know. Because my mother used to cook in Budapest before she came here.
Ah, you mean cook for other people?
They cook for, yeah, they're down like in a big restaurant.
Oh, what kinds of things did you make?
And the funny part, that's when my wife's mother used to do the same thing before she came to Europe, you know, see? Yeah. My wife's mother,
so she
they lived in the Bronx all their life, you know.
Oh, did they? But she was...
You know where Walton Avenue is? Off Jerome Avenue?
I know Jerome, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's the last place where my wife worked, you know, you see, yeah. Yeah, she's got a hip problem now, you know. She's got arthritis in there, you know. My wife, she was in show business for a long time, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. She was an acrobatic dancer. Yeah. You wouldn't think it, though, now. Yeah. Yeah, my wife she told me she was on the same stage with Bing Crosby, Bob Hope.
Oh, my goodness. Where was she?
Oh, yes. Well, in small circus before, all over the place. Detroit, every place. Oshkosh, Chicago, all over, you know. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
And Jerry Lewis and what he called.
How did you meet her?
Well, I met her through my sister, you know. Yeah. Because my sister married some first cousin of hers, you know. My sister lived here in the back here.
Yeah.
And then they moved across the river, they did, you know. Yeah. My sister lived there. My sister had a nice place and she lived there, you know. Some black people live here now.
This was the older sister who was here first?
No, this is my third older sister. My oldest sister, she's in Schenectady. She's 84 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
She could tell you a lot about Hastings. She's been in Hastings before me, you see.
She must be like a mother to you.
And she's got a very good memory, you know. She don't remember, and she remembers the dates, you know. Yeah, my sister Mary is pretty good, you know. Yeah, she's in Schenectady.
Oh, that's too bad she's so far away.
Yeah, because when her husband retired, they moved up there, you know. Because later on, you know, the pavement company closed up, you know. And then my brother worked for the Haber Show in Yonkers. And he retired from there, and then they moved up to Schenectady because their oldest son was up there. He used to work for the Schenectady Papers, a linotype operator. Yeah.
Now, you went to school, you started school when you were 14, or were you 13? In Hastings?
In Hastings, I was 14.
You were 14, and you were in 7th grade, 8th grade?
Well, I didn't finish high school.
What would 14 be?
Yeah. My 2 children graduated from here. I had a son and a daughter. Yeah.
Tell me about your feelings about school at that time.
School was all right, yeah.
Did you
not like
have,
it was now, I mean, yeah. The teachers are much more stricter, I mean.
At that time?
Oh, yes. I remember the principal, Hopkins, he was very strict with the people, you know.
How was he strict?
Oh, very strict. He couldn't fool around, I mean. Yeah. Then I remember the old teacher, her name was Polly, you know. She couldn't fool around with her, you know. She used a ruler on you and grab you by the shoulders and squeeze you, know. Yeah, she was a good too. Yeah. Polly. First name was Polly. Yeah, the teachers are pretty good these days, yeah. But those people are all gone already.
Yeah.
Either they moved away.
Who was your favorite teacher?
Well,
Did you have somebody who was your favorite?
I don't know who my favorite teacher was, you know.
Especially liked?
Yeah. I don't think anybody's a favorite teacher, you know.
No.
You think they? I don't think they
Especially
have.
good.
No.
Sometimes people have a certain teacher that they...
Even my children have had a favorite teacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
They was pretty strict then, the teachers, you know, yeah. And we had a good,
Were your parents strict?
What's that?
Were your parents strict?
Yeah, oh, you were strict. Oh, yes. Yeah.
What kinds of things were they strict about that you think that now people are less?
Well, we had to make sure we had to be home for supper, and stuff like that, you know, and yeah. But otherwise, my parents were all right, though, you see, yeah. Yeah, I got 4 sisters and 2 brothers.
Oh, that's a big family.
Yeah.
Your mother did do a lot of cooking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you worked at Anaconda, did you have any sense that there was a sense of family among the people who worked at Anaconda?
Oh, yeah, they were all, yeah. Oh, they all lived on Maple Avenue and Washington Avenue. All the Russian people, they all lived on Washington Avenue. They had all those nice trees, and maple trees. It's a nice place, Washington Avenue. And Maple Avenue was a beautiful place there before the war, you know. I mean, I'm talking when I came here in the late 20s, Maple Avenue was the nicest place there was, you know. All nice maple trees, you know. Didn't have that apartment house on the other side there. The police station wasn't there, you know. It was all woods there, you know.
I guess a lot of
But the only house, it was at the other end of Maple Avenue, where the dead end is there. And Bruning owned that. Bruning had the ice cream parlor next to the Hastings movies, you know. He owned that.
Did you go there a lot?
And he used to make his homemade ice cream, you know. And his house set down by the river lot, you know. It was an old Victorian house. That's torn down now, yeah. I remember that too, you see, yeah. Oh, Hastings was a nice place, you know. In the late 20s, you know, yeah. But now, I mean, I don't know, it's too, what do you call it there? They're trying to be too big, you know. Like you have these 4 big fire companies we have now. We don't need all those fire companies here for what? Just for parades?
At what point did you become active with the fire department? You said you've been with the fire department for a while. At what point did you become active?
1937.
1937. Now, how was that different than now?
Well, they take it more serious now, you know. It's too much hocus pocus, you know. There's a lot of fire wardens meetings and all that stuff there. The captain's job is harder, I mean. They have to go to these fire wardens meetings once a month, and the state is telling you how to run the department now. Yeah. The state, you know, you see. We have to go to school now.
New York State, you mean?
Yeah, New York State. It's telling all the volunteer firemen, you know, what to do now, you see. We have to go to school, I mean, you see. Yeah.
Well, when you started the fire department then, what
it was different then. It was different, I mean, oh, yeah. And we were much more, what do you call it, the kids of today don't care for the volunteer firemen no more. No, we were much more dedicated, you know.
How did you learn how to be a fireman?
Well, we just joined.
And the fellows who were there
just
taught
like a clubhouse, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it dangerous?
Did you? The firehouse over there. We built a new one, you know.
That's the one you belong to?
Yeah, we had the old one, you know. We had the old firehouse.
And where was that?
The back of my mother's house, same place. We just bought 2 extra lots, I mean, and then we built a new firehouse, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
We got a beautiful place down there.
Now, how big an area do you cover?
What's that?
How big an area do you cover?
Well, we cover all of Uniontown. And we got as far as Geigy's there. And the St. Andrews Golf Course. They pay us, you know. Those 2 places pay us, you know. And the Ardsley,
so that's not
Ardsley Fire Department also covers half of St. Andrews.
St. Andrews is
the St. Andrews Golf Course. You know, they're building all those new co-ops up there by the golf course up on top of the hill there, yeah. And they're always calling you out, you know, for everything, you know. But you have to go.
So it's a busy...
Oh, yeah. I think they pay us about $5,000 a year. Each place, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
that's not a lot considering all the work that's...
Oh, yeah. It's not too bad, you know. But like I told the young kids today, they don't want to join the firehouse.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I don't know. They're just too busy. They're different than when we were kids, you know. Yeah. And now when I get down the river swimming, I mean, the kids come down there. I got a certain spot where I stay all the time. They drink soda, break bottles down there, play their TVs. They never go swimming, I mean, you know. That's the kind of kids you have today. Yeah. Now they don't go down now because we got the swimming pool, you see.
What do you think makes the difference? What do you think is different?
Yeah, they got it too easy, that's why. They got it too easy, you know. Yeah. That's what makes a difference. They don't have to work, you know. That's
Yeah,
what makes it
you worked
different.
hard.
And well, I was brought up during Depression days, you know. Yeah.
That's
I was
right.
making 40 cents an hour in Lord and Burnham. $19.20 for 5.5 days work. We worked a half a day Saturday. That's what it was, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What did you make at Anaconda?
And the Anaconda, I was making 65 cents an hour. That was the wage.
In the
there.
wire mill?
In the wire mill, yeah. 65 cents an hour, yeah. That's right, yeah.
Wow. And then you said you worked in another place in Anaconda.
That's the only place I worked in the lead room. I was there.
In the lead room?
Yeah.
Was that part of the wire room?
Yeah, yeah. That was, it was
Oh,
called
I
the
see.
cable room. And the lead room was in there, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's what the wages were, you know. Oh, yeah. Even when I went to work the Fisher body, that's what the price was when it came out of service. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was.
I'm trying to,
yeah.
how much, say, would a loaf of bread
Oh, a loaf of bread
cost
was only 15 cents, you know. It cost me 25 cents a round trip to go to work to Irving and Lord and Hastings.
So that was a lot of money, wasn't it?
12.5 cents each way. Yeah.
If you're only making 65 a day,
And then I used to ride with a man. I used to pay him $1 a week.
that was a lot.
He worked
wasn't
up there
it?
too. Yeah, and them days was there. See, yeah. But you didn't have the stuff that you have now, though. You know, you had no car insurance. I mean, that's something.
Oh, I see, the overhead thing.
Yeah, they had no overhead like you have now. Everything was cheap then, you know. What was your electric bill? $2 a month.
Yeah, that's
Probably,
right.
yeah. Very few people had telephones, you know. Yeah. Oh yes, you know. That's why the people got by, you know, in them days, you know. They did, and the river was swimming. You swam for nothing. Now you have to pay for this. So everything is for nothing, you know. Yeah, and where people got by, you know. The place is all full of berries around here, cherry trees, apple trees. Never bought that stuff.
Did you pick them?
Oh, yes. I used to go down, I used to go swimming down the river there, you know, where the North Broadway is here, but around here. I used to cut through the woods there. Come down by the aqueduct and down by up in the Warburton Dam, and then get down and bang across the bridge there. The woods are all full of blackberries, you know. Come home, my mother used to make me a pie.
Oh, you'd bring your blackberries?
Yeah, I'd bring them home. I used to have a bucket, yeah. Cherry trees all over the place here, yeah, everything, oh, yeah. Peaches, apple trees up in the Pier Park, the woods are full of apples. You never had to buy apples here. Yeah. Look what you pay for them now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, oh, yeah, things were different then, you know, yeah. Much different than they are now. They were the good old days, you know. We didn't make much, but everybody was happy, you know. I mean, there was no upper middle class in them days. Now you got an upper middle class and also a middle class. And the upper middle class don't even want to know you, you know, if they're better off than you are. And that's the trouble. They live in a place, they're all fenced up, and nobody sees them, you know. Yeah.
And you had a sense that people were more
people were much more, they help each other out, you know. Yeah. You know, of course, it's much better living now for the simple reason those days you had to fix a flat tire, you know. You had a tube, you know.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I
yeah,
remember those.
yeah. I mean, I haven't had a flat tire in my car. I don't know when, you know, with this tires, you know. But things are better now, you see, yeah. But then if you got stuck in the road, everyone would stop to help you to fix your tire. And now they'll run you over. They're in such a rush. They'll run to the street here. You want to see the street here. They go up on top of my place. I put that big rock there. They go up all over the place, these kids here. Hey? Yeah. That's the difference. The people are much more friendly. My wife did the same thing, you know. They used to help each other out, you know. And now the kids, you know, the kids we always went to picnics, and you went with your family, you know. You see, now the kids all want to go alone.
Where'd you go for picnics?
Oh, we used to have a place up here off Sawmill over here, up there in the woods there. There's a big picnic place up there, the big dance pavilion and all, you know.
Oh, yeah, tell me about that. I read something.
Yes, I don't know if the building is still there, the big dance pavilion there.
And they had a couple smaller buildings, too?
No, just that one big dance pavilion over there, and everybody held picnics over there, you know.
And I remember reading that different groups took turns cooking the food and that
that's
sort of
right,
thing.
yeah. Oh, yes. And we knew the man that took care of it. He was a Hungarian man there. Oh, yeah. We used to have the Hungarian gypsies come out there and play Hungarian gypsy music, you know. Oh, yes. Now, I mean, the kids want to just be alone, you know. Yeah. Oh, yes.
How old were you when the pavilion was being used?
Oh, I must have been about 18, 19 years old, yeah.
Oh, so you were old enough to
Oh,
play.
yes. And we used to go up to Croton Point Park swimming on the Saturdays and Sundays with the family. And that was also a big picnic place.
Did a lot of people from Hastings do that?
Oh, yeah, up to Croton Point Park.
How did you get there?
Well, by car. My brother had a car. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, that nice place Croton Point Park was, you know. That's where people used to go on the weekends, you know. Because we used to have the big picnic place there, you see. They used to also come up from the city there. And then he used to have another big place up here in Ardsley over here. It still is a big place there.
Macy Park?
It's up in the woods there. We used to picnic over there too, you know, on the weekends, you know. Oh yeah. We used to make this thing on a stick, you know. A piece of fatty bacon, you know. We put it on a stick, you know. And then we get some good rye bread, you know. Put the rye bread on a plate, and we slice onions on there and green peppers. And then as you held this here bacon over the flame, you know. And then as the fat used to come out, we used to drip it on the bread, you know. And that tasted real good, you know.
Yeah,
oh, yes. The Hungarians do that, you know. And you know, that bacon.
It's like a shish kebab.
And that bacon used to get nice and brown, you know. Yeah.
Is that what you did when you went to the pavilion? Was that one of the things that you did?
Oh, everybody did that. Oh, yeah. It tasted real good, you know. But now we don't do it now because, like I told you, it's no good for the older people. That's fat, you know. But then you were young. I mean, you worked hard. People worked hard, you know.
Worked it out.
Not like now. Now you don't have to do nothing here. In those days, we used to bring our own wood. I mean, had wood furnaces. I mean, everybody worked in them days, you know. At the end of the street here, it was fenced in, and we used to get the wood from over there. Everybody used to get wood, you know.
You got your own?
Oh, yeah, we had our own wood furnace, you know. It was nice. There was nice heat that was. We had like the grate in the middle of the dining room used to come up, you know. The hot air, you know. Then the winter time, you used to have a big lip on a furnace about this wide when you opened the door. And Mother used to make baked beans over there. Put the pot on top of there, you know. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, in a Dutch oven. Oh, yeah. Put potatoes there and all. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good in the old days.
She must have fed you well.
Yeah. Mother used to make her own whiskey. Father used to make his own wine.
Tell me about that. Tell me, how they do that?
Yes,
That's wonderful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mother made her own whiskey. Yeah, sure. All the people around here.
How did she do it? Tell me.
Well, actually, you'll make your whiskey in the wintertime when it's snowing outside. So you get this here, what do you call it? You get this copper, it has to be copper.
A pot, you mean?
The pot is all copper, you see. What you put it on, you see. And you can make it out of, you make it out of this mash, you know. My mother used to make it out of prunes, you know. She'd buy the prunes, you know, and put sugar on there. Then it would ferment, you know, in the barrel. And then when it started,
she would leave that in copper.
Yeah, and then when it started to get steaming, like, then, you know, it was ready to put in the pot to boil out, you know. Then you had those copper coils, you know, and it used to come out like one of those wooden butter tubs, you know, a gallon wood, one of those half-gallon butter tubs used to have.
Yeah.
And the pipe used to come out through that, you know, and the spigot, and it used to drip out, you know. And then that's why I used to make it in the wintertime, because you always had to keep those coils cool.
Oh,
so Mother used to bring the snow in, you know, and put that in the coils got to be cool, you know. And she used to make as much as 5 gallons at one time.
Now, was that was already fermented? When it would come out of the coils?
It was already ready.
She had already let the prunes ferment
prunes
and
ferment,
that was just sort of...
And then you could also use winter rye with sugar, rye. And then you could also use the grape pulp, which is squeeze the grapes out with, you know, we had a lot of grapes too. We used to make it out of that too, you know.
Not whiskey though, that would be wine?
It was whiskey.
Oh, you would make whiskey from the grapes?
Yeah, from the grapes, from the grape pulp, you know. But what do you call it made the best was the rye. Well, the wings that long because they haven't got the drivers. They have a hard time having drivers in the daytime, you see, yeah.
So they want to make sure.
Oh, yes, oh, yes. And then we used to butcher a hog every winter. Oh, yeah. And we lived in Jersey and Franklin. There was much more foreign European people there.
Oh, really?
There's Russians there, Polish, Italians, Hungarians, I mean.
I guess it was the same.
Oh, it was a real, what do you call it? They all came out from Europe there, yeah. Back in the early 20s, yeah.
Now, did you have animals here? Did you butcher
Oh, yes,
here?
we had some over here. My mother had ducks over here, geese here.
And you used them for food?
Yeah. And we had them in Jersey. And Jersey was the place we had everything. In Jersey, you know, we used to, my father worked there in the mill, in the Zen Company mill there, you see. And we lived in a row of bungalows across the track. One person was Hungarian, Polish, Slavish, Italian, see? And then in back was the fields. We had a cow. We had our chickens, we had ducks, we had geese, and we used We used to swim over there too.
When you came over here, you didn't bring the
No,
animals
we
with
didn't bring
you?
that stuff with us, no. But then, I mean, my mother raised ducks over here, though, you see, yeah.
Did she sell them at all? Or?
No, we have for our own
Just
use, you know.
for the
Oh,
family.
yeah, but our own use, you know, yeah.
Did you have a garden?
Oh, yeah, wait a minute.
I bet you had a garden,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my mother used to fatten up the ducks, you know. You know how you fatten ducks up with corn? You push the corn down their throat there. Oh, yeah. And my mother used to do that in Franklin, too, you know, with, with the geese, you know. And then she used to sell it to the Jewish storekeepers uptown. He used to get as much as $25 for one geese in them days.
Wow.
The rabbi used to
Days,
come down and kill it with a razor blade. They had to kill it.
So it'd be kosher.
And that was in the early 20s, mind you. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yes.
So that was a good business.
Oh, yeah, my mother did pretty. My mother had 10 boarders.
Wow.
Yeah, my mother was quite a woman, you know.
She had 10 boarders when she was here?
No, over in Franklin, Jersey.
Franklin.
Yeah.
And when you came over here, she didn't have boarders and you didn't have these...
No, we just came, we first moved in. And then later on, my mother had about 3 or 4. There were people that she knew from Europe, I mean, single men, you know, whose wives were in Europe, you know. And so my mother took them in because she felt sorry for them, you know. Yeah, they had no place to go, you know. Yeah. But in Jersey, I mean, was where I actually grew up good with the head. I was a young kid then, you see. Had a lot of fun there in Jersey, in Franklin, you know. Swam over there, ice skated over there. We had like little farms, you know, a lot of farms around there, peach trees, apple trees, cherry trees there. It was a nice place there. But of course the place built up now. And then during Depression days, the mill closed up, you know.
In the Anaconda?
No, down at the zinc company mill. And that's why we're glad that we moved over here, you see.
Was that about during Depression that you moved over here?
No, we moved here in 1926. Depression actually didn't start around 1930, see. 1930, yeah.
How were you affected by the Depression?
Well, I mean, I was working, like I told you, but my father was laid off from the Anaconda. My father didn't work for a long time, you see, but I was working.
How'd that affect your mother?
And then my 2 brothers, I mean, graduated, and they both worked up in Tarrytown in Chevrolet before me. He lives in Yonkers, he does. His son bought my mother's house up here.
Oh, so
his son, you know, my nephews, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now, if your father was out of work during the Depression, how did that affect you kids? Did the younger generation support the family?
Oh, yeah, that's right. My 2 brothers, yeah. But we were okay for the simple reason our house was paid out, you know. Our house was paid out before we moved from Jersey, you see. Yeah. But that's where we were all right. Our house
all those $25 keys.
Our house was paid out, you know. Oh, yes, the house was, yeah. So that's why it was all right, you know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, you'd be surprised all the people used to be out of work here in Hastings, you know. Yeah. I mean, when I came home, I used to take the train up then to Irvington, I mean, Lord and Burnham, and I used to walk home from the railroad station. I used to cut through the aqueduct up to the end of Warburton there, where Division Street is, and up High Street. And as I went up Division Street there, you had as much as 25 young guys sitting around there that weren't working. You know, yeah.
Was there any trouble because they weren't working?
No, they didn't have no trouble. No, yeah, they didn't. They weren't troublemakers, no. They used to just sit there. I guess their fathers were working, though.
How'd they pass the time?
Well, they used to get down the river swimming here, play cards. Yeah, that's what they did there. Yeah, I remember those days. I used to get a car. I can't forget that time because they had a big sign in front that says "Men at work do not disturb." You know, that's why I can't forget them. You know, it was about
the men who were out of work, you mean?
I was working. I was working in Lord and Burnham. I was, yeah.
But the men who were out of work had this sign.
Yeah, they were sitting over there. Yeah, their parents were probably working. You know, yeah. But then none of those guys are around now. They all passed away. You know. Oh yes. Yeah. I've seen a lot, you know. I was on the river all my life, you know. And I practically swam down it since we come here all the time, you know. I wasn't down there last year for the simple reason they were doing work down there. They raised the railroad tracks up, you know, right from where I swim, you know. And my wife didn't want me to get down there, and I don't know why. I mean, my daughter gave me the $50 check right there to take out the pool pass today.
That's where they want you to swim, huh?
Yeah, well, I was in the last year, you know. Well,
how do you feel about that, swimming in the pool as opposed to the river?
Yeah, I like the river the big. That water's nice, the Hudson. Hudson is just nice. You know? It's not too warm, and it's not too cold, you see.
Yeah.
The Hudson is nice.
How about the currents? I've heard stories about the currents.
That's not bad. I swim down with the current, then I walk back.
Oh, so you just go with the current.
I used to swim down from my fist all the way down to the Palisade Boat Club. or else I'd get up as far as Zinz's and swim all the way down to the Palisade Boathouse about a quarter mile, and then I'd walk back. Yeah.
So you never fought the current?
But you could never swim against that current. Oh, never against it. No.
Anybody ever have trouble? Do you know of anybody
I don't
drowning
know.
or anything from that?
I had a canoe down there too in 1937.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had a big canoe for 2 years, you know. Yeah, and I used to get with my brother, you know.
What did you do with it? Where did you go?
We used to go all the way down to the Spuyten Duyvil Bridge, you know.
Oh.
You know, where the Spuyten Duyvil Bridge by Riverdale. And that's where the current was. You had to watch the current, you know.
That's Hell's Gate,
It would tip your canoe over, you see. And then we'd turn around and come back, you know. We used to put on top of a car, and we used to go up to the Tower Ridge Boathouse, and we put in the water over there, park the car.
Did you keep it at the Tower Ridge?
No, I didn't belong to that, no. I didn't care for a boat for the simple reason I wouldn't have swam then. That's why I never wanted a boat, you know. Canoe was different. It's exercise, you know, you see.
You must have been in shape.
Yeah, I was in good shape, yes. Well, I swam the Tappan Zee Bridge, too, you know.
You swam?
Oh, I swam the Tappan Zee Bridge, yeah.
What do you mean? Tell me that.
I swam across the whole 3 miles. Yeah, without stopping, yeah.
You're kidding.
When I had my canoe.
Now,
I paddled up from Hayes. I keep my canoe down there by the Greystone Station there. There's a boathouse there. And I was, I worked in the Anaconda then, and I was on midnight shift then. So I got some young kid, and we paddled up the Tarrytown, and I just jumped in and I swam across. Yeah.
You were by yourself?
Yeah, well, he had the canoe. Yeah.
And he followed you with the canoe to make sure you'd be okay?
Oh, I swim across here, I swim too. Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
How'd you feel when you got back?
No, it was good.
You went all the way across and all the way back?
Yeah, across and back, yeah.
How'd you feel?
I feel good.
Could you walk when you got
I
out
could
of
do
the
it now.
water?
I could do it now, too. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I don't smoke. I hardly drink, you know. That's why I'm still around. Yeah.
Do you exercise?
I mean, I didn't give anybody die to swim down the river. Not that I know of.
Well, you sound like
I know plenty that died that hung out in the beer joints, though. Because you'd be surprised with all the drinking Hastings used to do before the war, how many beer joints this Hastings had for a small place, you know. You know, before the war, Hastings had 6 nickel beer joints.
Wow.
You could sit there for $1 and have 20 beers.
My goodness.
20
They
beers.
really were nickels.
5-cent beer. 5 cent, what you get today for 50 cents. That's right.
Oh. But that wasn't something you did a lot, or did you enjoy doing
Well, I
that
did. Well, I
sometimes,
used to drink 2 or 3 beers, and that was enough for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that was a social thing, wasn't it?
What's that?
You know, going to the beer joints, and it was a way for people to.
Well,
get
there's a way
together.
for people that don't forget you had no TV in them days, you know. And they hung out in the beer joints or played cards or stuff like that, you know. That's why the kids were much more. They played a lot of baseball, you know. A lot of baseball teams they had then, you see. Oh, yeah. But I wasn't much of a baseball player. I didn't care much for baseball, no. I didn't like to get all heated. I'd rather swim down the river, you know. Yeah.
Now, what did you see during Prohibition? How did people get around Prohibition?
During Prohibition? Oh, well, I mean, the Prohibition was in the middle 20s, that was, you know.
Oh, I was thinking that was.
Oh,
in the
yes, I
30s.
still lived in Jersey.
Oh, so you were still a kid.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll tell you when my older sister moved here, I told you she lived on, in there.
Did she ever talk to you
And
about
her
that?
brother-in-law was, and her husband was one of these guys, like a wise guy. And you know this here Suchin's big place here in Dobbs Ferry, that big apartment house? Well, he was in bootlegger. He was a bootlegger. That's when he bought that apartment from. And my brother hung out with him, you know. But yeah. Now, he was a big bootlegger, Suchin was. The old man, I mean. And that's when he bought that big apartment house on. And my brother hung out with him, you know.
I read that there was a route down Broadway to the city that they must have stopped.
And my brother quit for the simple reason, you know, he don't want to get shot by the gangsters.
Yeah. Were there a lot of...
Oh, a lot of the gangsters them days. Oh, yes, in the middle of 20s. I mean,
Up here, too?
Oh, I was only about 11, 12 years old when I still lived in Jersey, you know. Oh, yes. That's the time you had all the gangsters, you know.
So they were pretty much in control?
And they still had the gangsters when moved over yet in Hastings. Yet in 1926 we moved here, you see.
Were you aware of gangsters?
Oh, yes. It was in the paper all the time. Oh, yes.
What kinds of things
In fact, this
happened?
place down here by the corner, you see where you come up here by the corner by the stores there? Next to the gas station where the ice cream parlor was? Well, they had a nightclub up there when we first moved here in East 26, and gangsters ran it. A lot of murders over there. Yeah, Billy Grote could tell you about that.
Did you...
Oh, yeah, we first moved here in 26.
Did you see any of that yourself, or was it mostly...
No, I mean, I was what, 14, 15 years old, it didn't bother me then, you know. I didn't. But they're older people, I mean. Oh, this Union town had gangsters too, you know.
Did you have the sense that everybody was a little afraid of gangsters?
Yeah, oh yeah.
There was a real strong presence?
I mean, don't forget, in those days, I mean, the gangsters had everything. The cops didn't have the stuff that they have today to get after them, you see. And a lot of cops were in with them, you know. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Was that true?
Oh, yes. Hell, yes. Only around up as far as they had gangsters actually up to about 1932. Then the government started to get after them, you know. Yeah, oh, yes, I remember all those gangsters, you know, yeah. Look at that big gangster was Luciano. You heard of Lucky
Sure.
You heard about him?
Sure.
And you know, I just finished a book on him in the library, you know, the time when he helped during the war in Sicily. I mean,
I didn't know that.
It was a very good book, you know. In fact, Eisenhower, because I was in the invasion of Sicily, I was, you know.
Oh.
Because I was in the parachute troops, I mean. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I was with the 82nd Airborne Division, I mean. We jumped into Sicily in 1943, you know. And when we were going in there, there's books about this, you know. And, you know, Sicily's full of gangsters, you know. And they didn't like the Americans, you know, you see. And Eisenhower, I mean, he needed their help, you know, against the Germans, you see. So what he did, you know, was Luciano was up here in upstate in a prison. And they got him out of there. But they had a hell of a hard time coaxing him, and some American colonels took him back to Sicily, you know. And you'd be surprised the experience of what he went through, I mean, during that wartime, that Luciano, you know.
Working for the Americans.
Working for the government, you know. I mean, to get these here gangsters to help the United States, you know, against the Germans, you know. Oh, yeah, it's a very good book, you know. Yeah, it was a real story. I took it back just the other day, you know. Yeah, yeah. You know, Sicily's full of gangsters, you know. Yeah.
But that's interesting because we were really opposed to Italy.
Yeah, but Italy still didn't surrender yet, you know. Italy only surrendered after they invaded it. So, yeah.
So the gangsters were really against their own country.
Oh yes, you know. Yeah. Oh yes, I jumped over there. I did, you know. Yeah.
Wow.
I hit a stone wall and I broke my leg, you know.
When you jumped?
Yeah, I jumped from 300 feet, you know.
That's actually not very high, is
no,
it?
Well, you know what happened? We were shot down by our own Navy.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, we were supposed to come over the night before, you know.
So they didn't know that you were.
Then we came over the next day, you know. They shot down 25 planes out of my outfit, you know. And I just passed it, I did, you know. And that's why they jumped us that low, because they were shooting at us, you know. And I landed on top of the stone walls. The parachute opened up, you know.
Wow.
Oh, yes, I was in the hospital for 8 months, you know. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky you survived.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have enough time to re-enter the service then after that?
Well, I was up here in Utica in the hospital for 8 months, and then when I got better, I was sent down to the parachute school in Benning again. And I got discharged.
Your spirit wasn't... wasn't dimmed.
Oh, yeah, that's why I see it? I broke it right here, you see it?
Oh, yeah.
I hit the stone wall right there, you see. Yeah. And they had a helat.
You've got a lot of spirit.
They had a helat from the inside out. I was 1 month in a hospital in North Africa.
Now, how were you in North Africa? From Italy?
From Sicily.
From there?
Sicily. We're right over there. Yeah.
And then you came back here after
Came back here to the States, you know. Set up in Utica.
And then you went right back into another parachute.
Yeah, right down to the parachute school again, yeah, back in there. I was discharged from Benning in 1945, you know, yeah.
Well, with your wife being an acrobat and you being a parachute?
Yeah, but I didn't know my wife then yet.
Quite a lively...
I only met my wife when I came out, you know.
My goodness.
So I had quite an experience, I did, you know, yeah. Now, well, I was in good shape, you know, and I was 30 years old when I joined the parachute. I was old, you know. I was in there with young kids, 18-year-old kids I was in there with, you know. Oh, yeah, but I was in better shape than they were, though, you see.
I bet you were.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of swimming and exercise, you know, you see, yeah. Oh, yeah, I was in better shape than they were, you know. And they know it, too, you know, yeah. That's right.
How about when the fellas came home from the war? Someone had told me one time that the boats came down the Hudson and everybody lined up on the docks to
No, I remember
cheer
that.
them. Were you part of that at all?
No, I wasn't part of that, because I got discharged from Fort Benning. I came home alone, you know, see. I got on the medical discharge out of my leg, you know. I did, you know. Yeah. It bothers me, though. It's just starting to bother me now, you know.
Your leg?
Just started a year ago. That's why I had to quit working, you know. I was still working yet.
Good for you.
Oh, I was still working yet. My knee gets stiff here because it's got arthritis in there. Yeah. If I walk a lot on it, you know, and stuff like that, you know, yeah. I know. No, I had my experience,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you worked at Anaconda, was I've heard that they gave Christmas hams.
Oh, yeah, they were the good hams.
Tell me a little bit about
they were the good hams. They don't make those hams no more.
Yeah, why were they good?
They don't make it. They were that ham that was smoked and was wrapped in this nice paper. They were the armor hams, you know. They were about 12 pounds average, you know. And they were nice. They were hams that you didn't have to keep in the icebox. You could hand them in a cold pan.
They were smoked?
And then I just slice off, fry with eggs. Well, you don't see hams like that. I can't find a ham like that on my wife, you know. Oh, yes. I was,
Now, everybody who worked there got one?
Got a ham, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's because they had no union, you see. They had no union.
Now, why do you say that?
Because, because that's why the wages were so low. Because they had no union there, you see. And they were making all kinds of money, you know. I mean, the Anaconda didn't have no reason why they had to move away from Hastings. I mean, they made money during the Second War. They made money during the Korean War. They made money during the Vietnam War. Then all of a sudden they're pleading poverty and they move away and left the place. 800 men was out of a job. They made plenty of money during the war. They didn't want to spend nothing to fix on a plant. They said it was obsolete because they'd spend no money on it. That's why. Yeah, they made plenty of money, and everybody in Hastings practically.
So you think they worked at
everybody practically in Hastings worked on the Anaconda. They didn't go to college, I mean. Yeah. That's the first place they got a job. Never mind, they go someplace else, you know. Yeah. But the place that paid the highest wages, I mean, in Westchester County was Chevrolet.
Where was that?
Tarrytown, North Tarrytown.
That was where you worked?
Yeah, General. I worked in Fisher Body, yeah. My brother-in-law worked over there. He got my two brothers in there. And I was during Depression, 1934. My brother,
so that was the best place to be during Depression?
Yeah, best. Yeah, my brother, my old second-oldest brother, he graduated in 33, and he got a job over there. 18 years old. Where he's going to go? He didn't go to college. Yeah. And then my other brother, he didn't finish school. Then he got a job there too, and that's where he retired from. Okay? He retired from there too. So, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about when the unions came into Anaconda. Why do you think they came?
Well, I didn't work there when the unions worked there, see.
Oh, you weren't there at all?
I was there before the war. The unions only came there after the war, you know. So, but it was not that much of a union. It was what you call a company union.
Now, what does that mean?
That means that they were, you had to do what the company had to tell you. They paid no money down there. These guys, they make, and then when...
was that something you paid dues to?
Yeah, you paid dues, but it was nothing, I mean.
But it was run by Anaconda?
It was run by Anaconda. They fixed the rules, you know. And look what happened, I mean, when the place closed up here, like this Emery Gavis. He came in there when he finished school. He was 18 years old in 1936. And the place closed down in 1975, mind you. And he wasn't 65 years old yet. And he couldn't get his pension till he hit 65.
But they closed down and they refused
Yeah, they refused his pension. He had to wait till he was 65 years old to get his pension. And he was still a young man.
Did they give it to him when he was 65?
Yeah, he got just a pitiful pension he got. But he couldn't get that money out till he hit 65. A lot of those people started work there when they were 18 years old. The only people that they took care of were the ones that became foremen. They took care of them, you know.
Now, this company union, do you think that was something that Anaconda organized?
Yeah.
For a reason?
That's right.
That was in response to something?
They only had one strike. I had a brother of mine that worked down there too. A brother of mine worked at the rod mill, my youngest sister's husband. He lived down the street here. They were on strike, the Anaconda, in 1946.
Right.
That's when I came out of. That's when I was out of service. I was, you guys see. And they were striking. They stayed on strike all year long. Yeah.
It was a year-long strike?
Almost a year they were out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they already had the union then.
Yeah, they had the union there. Yeah, the union came in. And then my brother, Habershaw, opened up a big plant in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and my brother went out there as a foreman because they set up a new rod mill there. My brother worked at the rod mill, you know. That's when they melt the bars down, you know. And the wire goes through the jigs, you know. It's a dangerous place to work, you know. They had these copper bars, you know. They came up the barges. They weighed about 60 pounds apiece.
Are they the pigs, the copper pigs?
Yeah, copper pigs with copper. And then they'd go through all these dyes, you know, like snakes, to the wire come out, the snake and Shawanity, you know, you see. It was very dangerous, you know, see.
What, do you think Anaconda did anything to protect people?
Well, it's a dangerous
place. Were there
any,
you know, rules?
No kind of safety. There was you had your own chance. But that place made the most money.
Do you think that people were paid more who worked there?
They were paid 4 times most of the other people in the plant.
Because of the danger?
That's right. They were paid 4 times.
So that was the way Anaconda got
It was a dangerous place, too, for the simple reason the copper got on your chest, you know, the dust. And in the summertime, their undershirts are all green from the copper.
Yeah, I heard someone talking about copper poisoning.
That's what it was. It was something like emphysema. It gets in your lungs. You can't breathe. That's why all those people drank so much. They drank whiskey. They washed that down.
But when they perspired, it was greenish because it was in their system?
This man across the street, he worked there at the rod mill. He died from that. My brother passed away last year, one time up in Fort Wayne. He used to drink a lot.
So it wasn't like a cancer, it was more like an emphysema and then...
Emphysema, that's right. Copper. Yeah, they made money, but they got them at the end. There's only one guy in Hastings that's still alive that worked down there. He lives in Hastings, at Hanak. He must be about close to 78, 80.
Hanak? Yeah, I think, yeah.
He has another brother, too, you know. You probably see his brother hanging around the youth center there. He's about my age. But he has no other brother. He's still around there. And he worked in the Anaconda rod mill, too. Yeah.
So the rod mill was the place where the copper was melted down? And,
that was the highest paid place. Everybody wanted to work over.
Do you know of anyone being injured in there?
Well, yes, I know one man injured. He had his whole heel taken off. That wire wrapped around his heel. It was a dangerous place to work there. Because I worked over there, you know, and when I used to be on nights, 4 to 12, I used to go over there and watch them work, you know, during my lunch hour, you know. And you see the copper, you know, coming through the dyes. I mean, dangerous place. They had to use big pliers to pull out one end and put them in.
Feed it into
the other dye. Yeah. They put that copper bar in it, and it came out wire about that thick, you know, in coils.
About an inch?
No.
Diameter, maybe?
About an eighth of an inch.
Oh, I see.
And laid it in coils. And that's what they used in the place there, in the cable mill. And the strand, you know, make the wire. They made all kinds of wire, they did. Yeah. They made money, Anaconda. They had no reason why they had to move away, you know. That's right. And they took up a lot of our tax. That's why our school taxes are so high. Yeah. They took up a lot of our taxes, the Anaconda. We had no industry in Hastings now to take up the taxes. That's what makes it bad.
Now, I don't understand. How would they...
They paid a lot of tax, they did, you know. And they took it up, you know.
I see. When they left, they lost that. Yeah.
It's just like General Motors, I mean. Tarrytown, North Tarrytown, those people hardly pay any taxes at all. Yeah. Now, here's Tarrytown, and here's North Tarrytown. The people in Tarrytown pay 3 times as much tax as the ones in North Tarrytown because the plant's set in North Tarrytown. Yeah. Sure.
Did you have any sense that Anaconda worked with the community when
they worked with the community. Yeah, they had a baseball team, they did, you know.
Oh, they supported it?
Yeah, they supported the baseball team. And all those guys that
Who'd they play against?
Well, they played against these towns, you know. And the ones that played on the team, they all got the good jobs down. They were made foremen.
Just like in college,
In fact, the Anaconda boy, the Ancu boy played for them. He pitched for them, I mean. So he was a pitcher. That's all he did all life, just play baseball. And he worked down. His brother Charlie that passed away, he had a good job. Red Kajura, he's still alive. He lives on Pinecrest Drive. He used to play first base. He was a foreman down there. Georgie Rusnak, he's still alive. He lives on top of the hill by Washington. He was the second baseman. O'Mara up the hill over there, he was the shortstop. They all worked in the Anaconda, all baseball. They all had good jobs. But those guys, they never swam on the Hudson, though. They never swam in the river. They just played baseball. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
So that was a.
It was It was called the Anaconda Arrows. Anaconda, and before that, you know.
Why arrows? Did that mean anything, or that was just?
Well, that was the sort of the emblem for the Anaconda.
Oh, their logo?
For their product, like a logo. And before that, you know, when we first moved here, they had a baseball team. It was called the St. Matthew's Lyceum. Anybody could join that, you know.
Was that just
that was a local baseball.
Community?
Community, but that was a good baseball team. They used to play a lot of teams from Yonkers all over. Anybody could join that.
Now, did they disappear when the Anaconda?
Yeah, then the Anaconda took over.
So that became also a community?
Yeah.
The community team?
And then when the Anaconda took over, then that St. Matthew's Lyceum folded up, you know. See?
Now, how about people who worked at Zinsser or Hastings Cement, or if they wanted to play baseball on a community team?
They couldn't have got on the Anaconda team.
So Anaconda really had a monopoly?
Yeah, because they all worked in the Anaconda. Yeah, you had to work down there to be able to belong to the team. Oh, yes.
So that was a really elite?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I used to know the guy that was the manager in there.
Yeah.
He had a big job down in the Anaconda, too. I forgot his name there. Yeah.
What was their record like?
They had a good record. They had a good ball. They had a good baseball. Oh, yeah, they were good baseball players there. Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're a good team there. Oh, yeah, very good team there. O'Marin, O'Marin Rusnak, he couldn't beat them, you know. I mean, O'Marin's got 2 sons, but they never come to him, though. And they like the old man. Oh, the old man must be about 72. His father, he was up on top of the hill there. Joey. He's a very good baseball player with Joey. Georgie Rusnak was the shortstop. And Miss Footy Kennis, he was the third baseman, you know, Footy Kennis. You know him? You talk to him?
He is apparently not interested in
the
interview.
Yeah, well, he was the third baseman. Yeah, Red Kajuro, he was the first baseman. Mike Rusnak was the catcher. Mike didn't work in the Anaconda. Mike worked in the Anaconda, yes, but then after that, he opened up a beer joint on Old Sawmill here, Rusnak's Bar and Grill there, with his brother-in-law. Yeah.
But these guys were generally the foreman and the...
Cash Poley played right field, and I forgot who the other 2 fielders were. And 2 boys were pitchers. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But these guys, they never swam down the river. Never.
Why do you think they didn't?
I don't know. They just never cared for it. I never see them down. Never see them down the river. Never. Nope. Never. And I swam down there for years. Yeah. Very few people. And I don't even think that they fish down there. Right? There was a lot of fish in them days, you know. A lot of Tommy cods, eels, I mean. And now there's nothing down the river. Crabs, I mean.
They're blue crabs.
Crabs. There's a lot of crabs down there, but no more.
Did you ever go crabbing?
Oh, I crabbed down there. Oh, yeah.
Did you cook them down there, or what did you?
No, I never ate them. I didn't care for them. I brought them.
But people did, didn't they?
Oh, the people did. Oh, yes. I never cared for crabs, you know. When I worked up here in Irvington, I told you in the early 30s there, we had 45 minutes for lunch, you know, and we used to eat outside in the dock there, you know, on a lumber there. And this kid they lived over here, Matthews, you know. He worked with me too there, and he had 4 crab nets. You know, inside the 45 minutes, how many crabs he had? A 50-gallon barrel full of crabs.
In 45 minutes?
45 minutes. That's how much crabs were in the river then.
Blue crabs?
Right off the dock. That's right. That was in 1930, 31, yeah. That's right.
How about other Tommy cods?
A lot of Tommy cods. Tommy cods, those fish with the big bellies had on, you know. They had big bellies on them.
How big did they get?
Oh, Hudson was full of Tommy
How many
cods.
inches long do you think they
What's that?
How many inches the Tommy cods?
Oh, Tommy cod didn't go no bigger than these here.
Yeah. About maybe 8
yeah,
inches?
Yeah, 8 inches, but the river was full of them. Eels, I mean. Now you don't see nothing down there. What happened to them?
Did people eat the Tommy cods and the eels?
Yes. I love the eels. I love eels, I do, yeah. I know one guy down the street there used to fish for you. He used to give them to me, you know, because he didn't eat the eels. I love the eels. That's about the best fish I like. You ever taste the eels?
No, never did.
You never tasted the eels?
No. What do they taste like? What are they?
They have a little oily taste, you know. We used to have our clam bakes at the firehouse, and the guy used to have eels, you know.
Oh, and you'd have clam bakes?
You'd skin them, you know. And you cut them into 4-inch lengths, you know. And then all you do is just drop them in oil, like French fried potatoes, just brown them. And then when they're finished, you just fold them over. You take out that middle bone. Eat them just like.
Do they taste like fish? Or
beautiful,
like
beautiful
shellfish?
Fish. My wife loves them too, you know. Yeah. My mother wouldn't eat them. They look like snakes, but hell, they tasted good though. Look the price of eels today, $5-6 a pound.
Yeah. I think especially Italians use them.
Oh, the Italians like them. Well, they raise them out in Italy, you know, they do in ponds. Italy, yeah. But Hudson used to be full of eels, you know. Oh, I
Tell me
love
about these clam. You said you have you had clam bakes at the firehouse.
Oh, fires the clam.
When was that? About what years do you?
Well, that was right after the war, you know. Yeah.
What did you do? What?
Well, this guy used to come out with a big tent, set up a big tent, you know, for the fire department. That's when we had our annual inspection. And then after that, we had a clam bake, you see.
Oh.
We'd have it over here, or else we'd have it over in Draper Park. You know what Draper Park is? Yeah.
And you set up tents?
Oh, the guy had his big tent, you know.
How many people would come?
Well, the whole fire company. Just the fire, from 4 companies.
Roughly how many people?
Oh, I'd say about, let's see, a lot of, from the man, they didn't get too much. I'd say at least 120 people was there, yeah.
The families and everything?
No, just for the firemen.
Oh,
just for the firemen, yeah. That's what was there, yeah. Now, just lately we're having the families now. Yeah, lately we're having the families now, you know.
120 men, that's a lot of men, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the company, the village paid for it, yeah. You passed Rudy's Beau Voyage, did you? Well, over there now they started something different. We're having our inspection over there now. Now the wives are coming into Rudy's. They have a band and everything, you know. That's going to be this September, you see. But I'd rather have the picnic out in Draper Park, you know. We're holding in Draper Park all the time now. Not enough parking over here, you know. So you just see on Rose Street, the dead-end streets, you know. And our ball field is over in the ball field. You haven't seen our ball field, have you?
No.
It's over in the ball field, you know. And there's not no room for cars. So we're holding, what do you call it now, up in Draper Park, you know. But now we're going over there. They started over there, you see.
But no tent anymore.
What's that?
No tent anymore.
No, I missed that, you know.
That must have been nice.
Because we used to have everything. Yeah. We used to have bluefish and all, you know. Then after that, we got rid of that guy. You know why?
Which guy?
Remember the time when Robert Kennedy was running for president? He came down here, the Yonkers talk at the raceway, you know, and we had this guy booked, you know, and he backed out the last minute to get down there because he was going to get more money. So that was the end of it. You know, you remember that, yeah. And then after that, we didn't want him no more. Then we had our own. We had this Palermo from Dobbs Ferry having it, you know, 4 Italian brothers. Stop in the morning, 12 noon, yeah. We had beer, everything, you know.
Oh, that's nice.
So we had a nice ball field out here, you know. Oh, yeah. So the kids go out here now, too, you know. Roll a keg of beer out there. Yeah.
The young kids.
Yeah, the young kids, they don't fool around today. I went there and walked my dog once last year, and I see the whole keg of beer out in the woods there.
Really?
Yeah, the cops picked up 3 kegs last week up here in the woods somewhere, the cops. 3 kegs of beer, yeah. See this guy just with a horn, that's Teddy Hogan.
Oh.
He's also an old-timer. He used to swim down the river. He lives on top of the hill there. His father used to be police chief here in Hastings years ago when we first moved here. He's close to 80.
Oh, his father.
His father used to be police chief, old cap holding here. That's Teddy Hogan. He used to swim down the river with me. He also had a canoe down there too. Yeah. And now he's in bad shape, he is. He never drank and never smoked again.
I bet he's 80.
He's 80, but he uses the cane now. Yeah. Me and him. But he has been down there for years, you know, now.
Are you the only one who's still...
I'm the only one there, yeah. Well, you see, it's a lot of trouble going down there for the simple reason you have to park your car by Pinecrest driveway, go down the steps where the Zinz's is, then walk along the tracks about a quarter mile, then cross the railroad tracks. It's a lot of trouble going down there. And you couldn't walk down it. It's too much for me to walk down it. In fact, I felt like going down there yesterday, but my knee was bothering me. I figured I'd sneak off on a wife, you know.
Well, you need a little break.
You know, I didn't want to take the car, you know. She's very nosy, she is, you know. Yeah. That's why she wants me. I've been holding on this pass, you know. Yeah. Well, you're better off here because you can't get down to Yonkers no more, you know. Tippets, you know what's wrong with these fools down now? They bring all these day camps in now. Yeah. It's no good, you see. I used to like Tippets, you know. I used to take my kids after school.
Well, I guess they're running out of land.
Yeah. I used to go up to Wilson Woods and Mount Vernon. Now they're bringing day camps in there. Hastings has day camps too, but they're just in there for an hour. They have their own separate place, you see. Yeah. That's just my daughter, my son, you know. And then from there, we went to Glen Island with the kids, you know, to Glen Island.
But you took them to the river, and what happened? Would you tell me that again?
Oh, they always wanted me to build them a diving board, you know.
Off the pier there?
Yeah, off the rocks there. You always get big.
Did you do it?
Big timbers. Yeah, big timbers floating down.
Oh.
People used to make diving boards, you know. Oh. Yeah, we used to have a regular place down there. They have an old barge down there where somebody towed there years ago, you see, and we used to have take a sunbath. People used to crab off of there, you know. But then there's kids always come down there and erect the damn thing, you know. Yeah, we got this one guy from Hastings here. He's did all the building down there. He used to make the ramp to go on the dock, you know, with the lumber, you know. He's retired from the children's village. And the kids always wrecked it apart, you know. Yeah, that's how the kind of kids you got today. They're destructive, you know. Yeah, that's all they do. Just get down there, they drink their soda or beer and listen to their jukeboxes, and then they never go in shore, you know. Break bottles all over the place, you know. That's all they do, you know. Yeah.
They don't seem to appreciate the river?
Nah, they don't appreciate it. Nah, they don't appreciate it. They don't care. They got pollution on their brains, everybody. That's what they're afraid of today. Everybody's afraid of pollution. I mean, how much water do you drink when you swim? How much water do you get in your mouth? I mean, I can swim and I never get any water in the water. I got my mouth open right when you breathe, and I never get no water. Yeah. It doesn't bother me. Yeah. Of course, when I come home, I have to take a bath.
Oh.
And I only get down there now when it's high tide, because that's when the water's clean. I never get down when it's low tide no more. I got the Yonkers paper there. I see when the tides are in Yonkers. Yeah.
High tide is saltier, is that right?
What's that?
Is that more salt water, isn't it, when it's high tide?
No, it's the same.
Is it?
No, the Hudson's not salty, no. The Hudson is the same kind of water that you have in Jones Beach in the bay there where the kids swim. That's the same water. Yes, yeah. And then you go over to the ocean part there and you freeze to death over there. Because my sister-in-law is in Jones Beach. I've been out there now for 2 years. Then the kids wanted to go over there, you know, because they like to take the waves in, you know. But that water's like ice. It don't warm up till August. And then what happens then? Then the jellyfish come in.
So that's it?
You know, the jellyfish, they bite, scratch you, itch like hell, you know. Yeah. The big globs that, you know, you ever seen them?
Oh, yeah, sure. I used to swim off Atlantic City.
Yeah, Christ, I was at Hector State Park there when I first went down. I wondered why I was itching, you know. I mean, I seen these globs over there. Then my sister-in-law says, well, they're, what do you call jellyfish? Yeah. Yeah.
But they're often dead, I guess, aren't they?
No, they're alive. They look like they're dead. First I ever heard of jellyfish, you know.
You ever have anything like that in the Hudson? Anything
no, none of that stuff down there, no. Nothing ever bothered me down the Hudson. There's no kind of jellyfish down there, reptiles like that. No, nothing, I mean, no. The only pollution you get down there was the people throw off the boats now. Because there's more boats on there. The only
I read,
yeah.
I heard it, that when Zinzer was there, there used to be colors.
Oh, yeah, purple, yellow, green, I mean. We used to see it coming down, but then the tide would take it out there. We'd go in there anyhow. It didn't bother us.
They would color your suit.
Yeah, it didn't bother us, you know. Yeah. A lot of people didn't go in, but I used to go in there. It didn't bother me because the tide used to take it out, you know. Yeah. And we used to see the copper coming down, too, from the Anaconda, too, in the water.
What would that look like?
That was the green. Yeah, the
Just
green.
floating on the top?
Oh, yes, the copper, yeah.
Did you swim in that?
Well, we didn't swim in there, but we used to coming down. We used to come out then, you know. I don't like that copper, you know.
Yeah, that's
But now, I mean, that the place is pretty clean now. They don't put no more sewage in there. After all, they swim at Croton Point Park, I mean. It's the same water, So what's wrong with this water?
It's a lot cleaner.
I can't figure the people out. I mean, I can't figure them out, no. Yeah. No, I can't figure them out at all, you know.
I guess it had been a lot dirtier. Or maybe, 10, 15 years ago, do you think?
Yeah. But it didn't bother me, I mean, because like when it's high tide, the water's clean. It's clean as a whistle when it's high tide. It's only dirty when the tide is coming in. Everything comes on the shore. You know, all the stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It comes on the rocks, I mean. But when it's high tide, you notice the difference. Clean as a whistle. Yeah. Always get down there about an hour before the tide changes.
You certainly are good advertisement.
Yeah. Oh, I love the river. I did. Yeah, no, I liked it better than I was always down the river, you know. Oh, yes. Every day I used to be down the river when I was home. Yeah.
As an adult.
Because my mother used to make lunch on a Sunday at 12 o'clock regular, and I'd be down the river at 1. Stay down until dark, you know. Yeah. Well, it was a good place. Lean against the poles. I used to have another friend of mine before the war. We used to throw the bull there, you know. Then he moved to Connecticut, you know. Yeah, we used to always sit there, you know.
You miss him?
Boy, yeah. Then we used to have people used to come from New York. They used to camp across the tracks over there in the woods, you know. They were black people. They camped there all summer long, you know.
They would just live there?
Yeah, they lived in the woods. There's all woods across the tracks, you know.
Where was that? Across from where?
Across the tracks from where I used to swim. Where the thing is. This side, up on the Yonkers line. Where we used to go down the bank.
On the northern.
Oh, yeah, I remember the guys come there every year. They used to camp there. All summer long.
They pretty much stayed to themselves?
Yeah, they had a tent, I mean.
When was this? About what time?
Right after the war. And before the war. Yeah. He's a nice fellow, he was, though.
How did they live, do you think?
What's that?
How did they live?
Well, they'd go into the village to buy their stuff. And then the water, it was like spring water that came down from the home over there. You could drink that stuff. But you couldn't drink it now because for the simple reason, then Hastings started to dump over there before the war. But I'm saying before the war, yeah, it was a nice place there. And we had some other guy down there. He used to live right in the water over there. All he had on was just a jock. He was tan as hell. He used to walk up and down that tracks all day long.
Just during the summer?
Yeah, just for the summer. He used to be there, yeah.
Like where did he sleep?
He slept where he had his own place there alongside the water there. Yeah.
Did he have a little building?
Like a little hut he
something,
used to have, yeah. And then he used to have a bum, I mean, he used to sleep in hut up on top of the aqueduct there. He's an old man in a little hut there. And the way he used to live, I mean, he used to do odd jobs for people over there. And they'd give him something each, and I remember that man. Yeah.
So people weren't afraid of these people?
Oh, no, they weren't afraid. They always gave you something to eat there, yeah. I remember that guy, too, you see, yeah. It was nice down there down the river and camping, you know, yeah. That's why a lot of people had canoes in them days. They used to go camping up the line with the canoes, you know. Yeah.
But did you have any sense of a racial problem with the black people?
No, not that.
How did people
No. They kept their place then, you know. You only had their racial problems now since Kennedy gave them their rights, you know. I mean, you couldn't get down to Harlem now. Yeah.
Did they swim with you at all?
No, they didn't care for the water too much, no. They didn't.
So
they just used to play cards over there and giggle all, you know how they are. Like a bunch of chimpanzees, you know. But they were all there. And then on the weekend, their girlfriends used to come over.
So it was mostly men who stayed there?
Yeah, young guys. Yeah, young men, yeah. Then on the weekend, their girlfriends used to come over to see where they lived yet. I used to get a kick out of it, you know. There's one guy.
How did they come?
They used to come by trolley. Yeah. The trolley ran then, you know.
That's right.
Yeah. See, when I came from Hastings first, the #1 trolley ran up as far as the bridge here in Hastings. The #1 trolley. Then afterwards, it was moved up to the city line. Yeah. Trolley cars were nice, you know. You couldn't beat them, you know.
Why? Why were they nice?
Well, because they were nice and clean. They always on time. No smell. The good heat in the winter time. You could always see them coming, you know. Yeah. In fact, there was a piece in the Yonkers paper the other day about this guy that used to drive the trolley car.
Oh, I didn't see that. No, I have to look.
And the funny part, he mentioned the guy that they both got the job with after the war. They used to live just down the street here.
Is that in the...
Yeah, he was a streetcar car. When he came out of service, he got a job. He used to drive the #1 trolley.
Now, how far could you go on the trolley from
You
here?
could go all the way down to Van Cortlandt Park for a nickel.
Oh, wow.
When you got into Getty Square, you asked the guy for a transfer. They stayed in a trolley car, you went all the way right down to Van Cortlandt Park for a nickel.
And could you go beyond Van Cortlandt Park? Could you actually
That's as far and then the trolley line.
Now at that
That
point,
was the #1 trolley. That went all the way to the foot of our Hastings here. See? And then you had the #5 trolley. That was our trolley car here. Nepahanander. That just went from Nepahanander down to the Yonkers waterfront there.
So you had two separate...
Oh yeah, there were two separate lines there. And then you had another line, the #7 line, that went to Mount Vernon from Yonkers. Mount Vernon. They all separate lines.
So you
then you had a #4 trolley that went up to Park Hill Avenue from Yonkers, you know. They all had the different big numbers on where they went, you know.
So Yonkers was the main terminal.
Yonkers was the main terminal down by the, what do you call it there?
Getty Square.
At the foot of Getty Square, by the water. That's where they had their barns, you know. Oh, I remember Yonkers nice, you know. Yeah.
How often did they run?
What's that?
How often did they run?
Every 15 minutes.
Really?
Every 15 minutes, you could see them coming.
That's a lot. So people really
I used to go with my mother shopping on a Saturday morning, you know, because you know you had no supermarkets then. Yes. We used to go
Where did you shop? Where did you go?
We used to go to take the trolley car from number 5. My mother used to walk the trolley car, get down Upper Hand Avenue, and all the stores on Upper Hand Avenue. And every store was separate, you know. You'd go to Riverdale Avenue, my mother used to buy the pot cheese there, and the butter, and the coffee. And then up here on Upper New Main Street, we'd go to the chicken market and buy a chicken, stuff like that. And you had the fruit stand there for the lettuce and stuff like that. Oh, yeah, every place is separate now, like the supermarket now, yeah.
And your mother was Hungarian.
Yeah.
Did she have a special place where she would go for, say, special spices that would be special?
They had a regular store there on Upper Hand that just sold spices on Upper New Main Street, yeah.
But were there special stores that catered to one nationality?
No, there wasn't. No. Anybody could go in there.
Mixed together.
The only place was here in Hastings when we first moved here, and they had a Russian cooperative store on the foot of Washington Avenue that catered to the Russian people. There's a grocery store. Because I told you, they had a lot of Russian people working in the Anaconda, you know.
Right.
You all lived on Washington Avenue there. Yeah. And all the butchers were mostly all Russians too, you know. They had 2 butcher shops on Washington Avenue, which I used to go to from Hastings that they get meat from each other, you know. And I mean, they were butchers, I mean. And when you wanted pork chops, they gave you pork chops, you know. They gave you the Seneca pork chops. Not like now, I mean, there are 10 different kinds and 10 different prices, you know. Yeah.
You know, it's funny, of all the foods that come up, pork chops seem to come up more than almost anything. Was that a special food for everybody?
Because the people ate more pork chops in them days than steak.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's right. Porterhouse you get porterhouse steak then for 45 cents a pound.
That's a lot.
Yeah, 45 cents, yeah. Boiled ham was about 60 cents a pound then. That was the highest.
And how would pork have compared, or pork chop?
Well, pork chop used to be about 35, 40 cents a pound, you know. It wasn't too much.
So it wasn't that much less than steak, really?
Yeah, they had 2 butcher shops there. A lot of these men, I mean, they used to work in the Anaconda, they used to have their lunches made by these here butchers, you know. If they worked the afternoon shift, that's that Mandrake. I mean, they used to have rolls, they used to be that big rolls, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
And they used to put
like about 8 inches around?
No, they were that big, the rolls, you know.
Wow.
And they fill that full of bologna for those men of meat, I mean, that's enough for anybody.
That would be their lunch?
Oh, yeah, bologna. They used to slice it with a knife, you know. 1/4-inch thick.
Oh.
And they had good bologna. They only had one kind of bologna, the good bologna. They never had no 10 different kinds of bologna. Everything was just one kind. It was the good kind, you know. Yeah. And when you go to a chicken mart, you taste those chickens, not like the ones you have over here. Yeah.
Did they taste different?
Oh yeah, you can't beat them. Yeah.
How were they different?
Oh, much better. Different because I don't know why, they're just better. I mean, see. And my mother had chickens here too, you know. We had chickens here too, you know. Yeah.
That's right. You said that
we had chickens, we had ducks.
Here.
Yeah. And every now and then we'd go up the line, we'd buy a pig, you know.
And you keep it here?
No, we'd kill it.
Oh,
The orphans, you know, the orphans used to have them up here. Up here on Broadway used to have them, I mean.
Now, what would you do? You'd buy it and you'd bring it home and then slaughter it here?
We slaughter over there.
And then you'd be able to butcher it up there too?
See, the Hungarians, they do it different than the other people do. The Hungarians burn the hair off the pig with straw.
Oh.
It tastes better, you know, see. And then my father had a big wagon made, you know. You ever see these big wheelbarrows with those big steel wheels? Well, that's the kind of wheels it had. And we used to bring it home on that after we killed it there, you know. Then we take it in the backyard in the garden and we used to put straw on it, you know, and set it on fire, you know, with straw, you know, you see. And that would burn the hair off, you know.
That was before you butchered it?
Yeah, after we butchered it.
After you butchered it.
And then we keep on scraping it with the knives. And then to put the finishing touches on, my father had put these hot irons in a fire. Then he'd burn off that nice fine hair, you know. And then we'd put it up on the table and scrape it down with hot water. And it gave the nice brown, crispy taste.
So you'd start with the straw.
The straw.
And then you.
We burned it off. We scraped it with knives. Hot iron.
And then the water and the knives.
And water and knives and scraped it clean, you know.
Now, how did you preserve the meat? You couldn't.
We salted it and smoked it.
Did you have a special place here?
Father used to make his own smokehouse. We used to always keep 4 doors, old doors, knock it together, and put a top on, you know. And then in the wintertime, we used to always kill in the wintertime, you know. And then we used to smoke it with sawdust, you know. The hams and the bacon.
How long would that take?
Oh, about a week, you know. It was every keeping.
So you just construct this temporarily?
Yeah, temporarily, and then we knock it down. We always put it away, you know. Yeah. Oh, my mother made everything. My mother sausages, you know, my mother made, you know.
Now, how'd she do that?
Well, we had the regular gadgets, you know, which you make the sausages with, you know. In fact, I got one hanging on the kitchen wall. It used to be my wife's mother, you know. Yeah.
One of those things that...
Yeah,
the
thing you put
cones,
in there, yeah. Put up against your stomach, you know. And, you know, the toughest part was when you had to clean the intestines of the pig, but you put the sausages in, you know.
Was that the kid's job?
No, that was my mother's job, the woman's job, you know. See. But then after the words, you know, you could go to the Yonkers and buy from the butcher, you know. They had to salt it down your intestines, you know. My mother made everything, you know. Yeah.
You had to clean it and salt it?
Oh yeah. Mother used to make. They don't know how to season the sausages. I mean, my mom used to make good.
Did she make them very spicy?
What's that?
Tell me about Hungarian sausages. Are they very spicy?
Oh, you can't beat them, you know. You can't say this no more. No. You can't beat them, man. You can't beat them with scrambled eggs, you know. Yeah, no. You can't buy that sausage, you know, like my mother used to make, you know. Yeah. Even the store, you can't buy it. The Polish people don't make it like the Hungarians make it, you know. Hungarians only make the real sausage, you know. I get down to Jersey now to get it, you know.
Oh, do you?
There's a Hungarian butcher down in Linden, New Jersey. Yeah.
You really love it.
And another thing that's very tasty is a piece of bacon, like, you know. And has a sliver of meat going through. It's about that thick, and it had the ribs on it. And that's boiled, you know.
Oh.
It's boiled. In garlic, it's boiled, you know. And then when it's ready, then
is it smoked first, or?
No, it's just like that.
Just the way it is.
And then when it comes out, it cools off, got the ribs on it. And then what they do is the Hungarians, they put that sweet paprika on top of it. Oh. And you want to taste that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be Hungarian like that stuff.
Oh, do you think so? Don't you think everybody
You know what that stuff is selling for now? About $4.50 a pound.
Wow.
Well, you'd be surprised how good that tastes. Yeah. Yeah.
She made head cheese, did you say?
Head cheese, too. Head cheese, yeah.
She makes soap or anything like that?
Well, we used to make soap in Jersey. We made soap in Jersey, you know, yeah. In Jersey, I mean, my parents lived the same way as they lived in Europe, the people they see. But that's when we moved over here, it was a little bit more better living, you know. Oh, yeah. Better living over there. Yeah. But over there in Jersey, I mean, we had a lot of fun as kids, you know. Yeah. Everybody over there butchered hogs over there. Everybody in November, yeah. Like we butchered over here practically every year for quite some time, you know. Yeah.
How about other animals? Was it basically hogs?
Mostly hogs, I mean, and then the other stuff Mother used to kill: chicken, ducks, geese. Yeah.
How long would a pig last you?
Oh, what's long?
So just one a year you would use?
Yeah, one a year, yeah. And then when we moved over here, we knew we were moving here. We had 2 cows over there too, you see. So I had fresh milk too, you know. And then we butchered both of the cows. We did, you know. And that was good meat, you know, for soup, you know.
Yeah. Did that last you more than a year?
Oh yeah. And you know, you had good cold winters in them days, you know. Yeah. So the meat kept pretty good outside, you know. Yeah.
Did the Hudson freeze?
The Hudson froze once when my sister first moved here in the early 20s. The Hudson froze just that once.
You really could have walked across.
That's right. You could walk across the air. It was in the early 1920s. Around 1922, it froze. Yeah. Because I remember my sister telling me. Yeah. Walked across the Hudson. Yeah.
You hear stories about soldiers coming across.
Yeah, from the older people. But they all passed away. You see, the older people. Yeah. But I got a pretty good memory. I have, you know.
You do.
But my older sister had the memory. She could tell you the date. She could.
Well, you told me lots of dates.
She'll tell you the day and the hour when it happened. My older sister. Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. My 3 other sisters all left Jersey when they were 15. They came to work up here. You know.
On the waterfront.
In Hastings. Yeah. They used to do housework for the rich people on top of the hill. Yeah. That's how we got to stay in Hastings. See. Because my sister-in-law got them jobs. You see, my sister did. Because she was already here, my oldest sister.
Your oldest sister?
Yeah, my oldest sister, yeah.
She really was kind of a mother for you, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah.
She really took care. How did your sisters feel about the people they worked for?
Oh, they were nice. They were nice people. Oh, yeah. One of my sisters worked for Mr. Shree. He was an architect. He lived up here on Euclid. He was a nice fellow. He was, yeah. My sister liked him, you know, yeah. She still talks.
How long did they work there?
Oh, must have been about 3 years, you know. And then the sister of mine went back to Jersey, I mean, because when we moved here, well, she got married in Jersey, and she moved into the house that we had. It was a company, owned by the company, see. And then about 5 years later, they moved to Hastings, too, when the mill closed down, I tell you. Then he worked in the Anacondas as a machinist on maintenance, you know. They had a house on the Acme dock on the up right by the funeral home there.
Let me ask you one last thing. Would you describe the waterfront for me? Would you describe what you remember about how everything start at the bottom and work up, or start at the top and work down?
Well, I mean, it was nice. I mean, I liked seeing all these dayliners go up, you know. Nice to see the dayliners, you know. And you had a lot of canoes in them days, the barges coming down, the trap rock from Stony Point, you know. That's the stuff they used for the roads, you know, you see.
The trap rock.
Trap rock. It was trap rock, you know. Or the tug used to pull the barges. It was full of trap rock, you know. That's the ones that the kids used to swim out to, you know. Because these tugs used to pull about 10, 15 at a time, you know. Like a big trailer. They were strong.
So you go for a ride on them?
Yeah, they used to hook on. A lot of people used to do that when they used to, with their canoes, you know. When they're going against the tide. So they hook onto the barge. And it saved them a lot of work, you know, you see.
That's right.
Yeah. Because they couldn't see them because the barge is way up in the front there, you see. Yeah. And seeing all these big logs, big planks going down, used to get loose, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, they didn't have that many boats, you know, honestly. They hit them, yeah.
Do you remember seeing the ice come down? I think there were some ice companies up on the Hudson.
Oh, I don't remember that, you know. But they must have had them, I mean, yeah. Because when I came here, we had icemen, you know. Yeah, that was in the days, icemen, you know, yeah. Not like now, you know. Yeah. This man over in back, he was the iceman.
Oh, really?
The first owner's house, Harry Mann.
What did it mean to be an iceman? Does that mean he got ice?
Well, he got ice from the iceman down below. In Yonkers had a big ice house out there, expert in there. And he had his own truck. It's just like a guy getting oil for oil delivery from the big place, you know. Well, he had his own truck, you know.
And you had a regular arrangement with him?
He had a regular route, I mean. Everybody, a piece of ice is 25 cents. A big square, about that per square, you know.
About like 2 feet maybe square?
Yeah, about 2 feet square, you know. And everybody had those nice ice boxes with those nice varnished oak, you know. They're nice ice boxes. They're all, they say they're worth a lot of money now, you see. Now, I remember the one my older sister had, you know, had the pan underneath, you had always empty the water out, you know.
I remember that, sure.
Oh, yeah, my younger brother one of my brothers used to hang out with him too, you know, with the kids there. He used to go on the ice, help them deliver ice, you know. And you got a lot of ice because everybody had an ice box, you see.
Now, but you preserve the meats and things mainly by salting and smoking.
Yeah, when we butchered the hide.
Would you keep them then in a cool cellar or something?
Yeah, we had a cool cellar, we did, yeah.
And what would you keep with an ice box? What sort of things?
Well, mostly stuff that, well, we didn't have to keep too much, you know why? Because the milk was delivered, milkman came to the door with the milk, you see. And then to buy, then we also had a guy who used to come from Yonkers, his name was Spitzer, with a big open truck. He used to sell the fresh vegetables, you know. See?
Oh.
And he could speak Hungarian, he's a Hungarian Jew. And Mama used to buy off of him once a week, like grapes. And mostly in the wintertime, when we didn't have nothing to go, we might have had a big garden, you know, but we had a big garden, you know. See? And we had a bigger garden in Jersey we did there.
Did your dad do any gardening? He was a professional gardener.
Yeah, well, at home, my mother did practically everything. She took care of the garden, yeah.
He probably had his
My father just used to putt around, you know, on the weekend. But my mother used to take care of everything. She didn't want nobody fooling with the garden. Gardening, border, everything, yeah. She even did the paint around the house. She didn't want nobody, right? Whether they don't come like
Sounds like you've got her energy.
Yeah, she had, yeah. She looked to be, she'll be 87.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
My goodness.
87, yeah.
That's
she's buried down in the cemetery, my parents over here, you know. Yeah, that's the river was nice, the river, you know, yeah. And a lot of fun, you know. Of course, everything is changing now. It's changing because the people are changing.
Yeah.
No, but everybody's television's ruining people. They don't want to leave the house. They just sit in the TV. Nobody wants to walk today. See? I got that little pool. I'm the only one that walks on the street here.
Really? Nobody else?
Nobody walks in the street. No, you know, everybody's in the house, you know. Yeah.
Do you think we'll come back to being more active?
No. I got enough work to keep me busy. I never sit down.
It's beautiful. You have a beautiful house here.
This table here, we get out here once because the worst part about it, this is where the sun shines the most from 1 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's right here,
just
you know?
when you'd want to be eating.
Yeah. That's what gets me, you know.
Your umbrella.
Yeah, see? Yeah. I'd rather eat inside the house where it's cool, you know. Yeah. I cut the grass this morning, though. That's up early, you know.
Beautiful.
Yeah. A lot of weeds, all the weeds, you know. I just put these roses in last year, you know, making my rose garden, you
They're
see.
lovely.
But they were nice last weekend. See, they're all falling apart now, you see.
Your father would be proud of you.
Who?
Your father.
Oh, my mother had roses. My mother was a rose. My mother loved roses.
Oh, so both your parents would be
Yeah,
proud.
oh, yeah, they loved roses. Yeah, oh, yeah. These are all new ones I got now. These are for abundance, you know, see. But I don't care for the orange color, though, you know. The orange color clashes, you know.
Well, it's natural.
You know, orange has to be alone, you know, see, yeah. And that's a, what do you call it? That's a cherry tomato I got there.
Ah. Almost ready. It's starting to flower.
Yeah, well, I got one here with tomatoes on it already, so yeah.
Let me ask you if there's anything else that you think that you might want to talk about that I haven't thought to ask you.
Well, I don't know.
You're such a wealth of information.
Yeah.
I don't want to take too much more of your time. But,
Oh, I'm not doing nothing anyway. I'm just, well, I mean, just tell you the way it was here. Get down the river swimming, I mean. I worked on the river all the time. Worked up in Tarrytown, Irvington, Anaconda. I was always on the river, you see. Yeah. See, so I was in the river, you see, yeah.
All right, well, thank you so much.
I'm not lying, I mean, you see, yeah. Yeah,
you know. No, you couldn't know all you know.
No, yeah, see. Yeah. Been there for a long time, you know, 63 years now, you know. Yeah.
63 years in...
63 years in March. I was 63. I'll be 76 this Sunday.
So you've been in Hastings?
I've been in Hastings since 1926.
That's wonderful.
1926, I was, 14 years old when I came here. Yeah. I was 14 years old, yeah.
I'm going to turn this off.